Sage Wanderer here, coming at you from my van down by the river. So I am really tired. I always get so tired the next day after the show. Anytime I perform like that for 4 hours, it's been like this since I was doing it at 18, and now at 51. It's still about the same amount of pain the next day. I just think maybe I get the same amount of pain the next day, but I put out as less energy than I did when I was 18, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, this is the croaky morning after a live show last night. And I was actually surprised at how well I hung in there. In retrospect, I went back and I looked at the live stream. And, I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to watch myself play like that. I'm watching myself do it while I'm doing it. And every other video I've ever made of myself playing the piano or anybody else. I had a few professional cameramen that would get up and shoot a few solos up close, and I had a solo like that made it onto a VH1 video for Sarah Hickman that went around with just a close-up of my hands. And there was a video that I did with Big Boss Groove where a professional cameraman shot it, and that was I had a moment, and that made it into the video, into the music video. This is what I'm talking about, is music videos. But I've never set a camera up next to my hands and watched my own hands play. And is it weird to say I'm better than I thought I was? That I must have a low self-image? Because if I was watching that and I didn't know it was me, I'd be freaking impressed with that piano player. And honestly, I felt like I was having an off night compared to how I usually am. Like I was running at maybe 85% capacity because I've been a lazy musician while I've been going through this transition in Texas. And every practice session except for one, you guys have seen, because it was just, I recorded it. And so I haven't done any real practice. I didn't practice with this band. I played in that exact configuration with those exact guys, but it's been 2 or 3 years ago, because she's rotated some other musicians through, and these guys were subbing. You'll see if I live stream tonight, and I think I will live stream again tonight. You're going to see that, yeah, we have a different bass player tonight than we did last night. But yeah, I was surprised to see, my hands on film, and I don't know why I haven't done that before. And I guess, I set up a camera angle like that at your guys' request in the cabin in Texas for some of those practice sessions. But to see me do what I do with the band, like what you saw last night, is what I'm best at. I've been doing this keyboard utility position in bands. Well, it's what I was literally taught to do from the very beginning. That the old Marine played guitar, and him and Mom sang, and they were kind of regionally famous, and I was born into that family of traveling, preaching musicians, and so I was taught how to support that, be a support position, and be that. It's my job to magnify the other people on stage and make them sound better, and so I have to do whatever I have to do to make that happen. And I've been doing it for a really long time till I've gotten very good at it. So I have a God-given talent that's also been polished through years and years of training and practice. And but to me, the hardest part about getting to where I am now as a musician was learning to cut off my thinking. Like a lot of people will notice that it seems to flow from me, and I don't really seem to be thinking about it at all. And that's because I've transcended that. I've transcended, I guess I started out playing the letters, and then I learned to play the Nashville number system, and I was playing the numbers. And then I started to be able to just play, I turned those numbers and letters into a series of chops, like a catalog of licks. And then I would just play licks, right? And that was early on in my music career. And then I started where I would just play songs. I wouldn't even play the licks. The licks and the combination of licks were categorized as a song in my head. And then, as I got worked into bands, I haven't got to that point with this band because we don't play together enough. But in times past, I'd get synchronized with the band. And then I would be playing not songs anymore, but whole sets. So I would flow seamlessly from one song to the next. And, first I memorized the notes, then I memorized the chops, then I memorized the verses and the choruses, and then I memorized the songs, and then I memorized the sets, and then I memorized the nights. Eventually, I would never have to think about it. At the height of my career, and when I'm playing with a band for a long time, I just play the night. You can ask me at any point in the night where we are, and I can tell you. Now you didn't see that last night. You saw me. Well, this is part of Copper Ridge's thing, is that they're really loose on stage. They're really relaxed, and I think that causes an interaction with the crowd, and I think it creates a laid back mentality. It's not what you want typically for a hardcore dance band. You want to keep the music flowing and keep the people on the dance floor, and that's typically been the goal. But I do like the laid back nature of how they take their time between songs, and they also call them out. Like they'll just, I think I played a couple songs last night I never played before. I was like, maybe I've heard it. I don't know. I'm playing this song I don't know. And that's when you go back to just playing chops, because you don't know what's coming next. You can't play the whole song, you just play the licks. But yeah, to see myself doing that to the point where I just look like I'm not even really there. I just kind of look like I'm not paying attention. Like I'm just having a good time listening to the music when I'm the one making it, And so that kind of was a treat for me to get to see myself doing what I do from that perspective. So I hope you guys enjoyed getting that inside look at a professional keyboard utility piano player's right hand. And, I set it up there so you could kind of see what I was doing, but I didn't set it up high enough so you could really rip off my chops. If you can rip off my chops from that camera angle, you deserve to have them. Because you're doing it by ear. You really aren't doing it by looking. But I showed you enough for you to see the speed and dexterity that God gave me, and the quickness of mind that God gave me. I'm humbled and amazed by my own talent. I know this may sound like pride, but I don't have any pride in myself. I'm not any different than a pretty woman. A pretty woman didn't do anything to be pretty. She just got God-given gift of good looks, And so I just got given a God-given gift of playing the piano. And I think without it, I don't know what I would have been. No, I know if it wasn't for piano playing, I would have been a Marine. It was very hard not to go ahead and become a Marine anyway, even though I could play the piano like this. Except when I started talking about joining the Marines, the very first thing I was told was, if you join the Marines, they will put you in the Marine Corps band, and you'll be a government musician. And I didn't like the way that sounded. Like, if I'm going to join the Marines, I want to go fight somebody. I don't want to be playing a band for the generals, If I was going to do that, I'd do that here where there's more women. But, yeah, if it wasn't for the music, I would have been a mercenary or something probably. Because there's a part of me that really likes to fight. And, as long as I got nothing to lose. But you're not afraid of losing when you got nothing to lose. Ooh, there's a song. You're not afraid of losing when you got nothing to lose. A bit of wisdom there. But I don't know. This is kind of the post-morning show. Thank you guys last night for making my live stream so popular. It was the first time I've ever done a live stream. And I was humbled and amazed at the interaction and the way you guys just joined the party. And Sherry, I hope you made it to work today. Or if you called in sick, I hope your excuse was really good. I think it was one of the ladies that was on there last night. I think Bridget Jones was up really late too. They're in different time zones, so they kind of stayed up all night with me to watch that live stream last night. But I think if I don't know anything about live streaming. I just did it kind of on a whim. I was like, okay, I'm gonna hit the buttons till it looks like people are talking to me, and then we'll play music, And but anyway, yeah, I'm gonna roll that again tonight. I've had people tell me that, because one of the things that was really satisfying for me last night was that, I do this fiddle thing, and I think I do it really good, and I do it good enough for it to be on records, and people, don't know it's not a fiddle. And But it's always been confusing when I play the keyboard in sounds other than, piano and organ. People look around for the fiddle player and I never get the credit. People don't realize that I'm kind of doing some weird alchemy and I'm taking an electronic instrument and making it sound like a fiddle player. And the thing is, I used to do that back in the day when I played in rock bands. I could play saxophone with those same techniques. Um, Here's the thing. If I'm in a band with an actual saxophonist, it's just a matter of time till his sound is in my head, and I have to make it come out my keyboard when he's not around. And so that's how I learned to play saxophone. I learned to play fiddle on the keyboard by being in the house band at the Silver Saloon in Terrell, Texas, and playing 7-piece and sometimes 9-piece country with a full-time fiddler and a full-time steel player. So having that fiddle in my right ear all night, it just imprinted those sounds in my head, and I had to make them come out my keyboard. And that's how I learned to do all of this stuff. So, it's very satisfying for me to have that up close camera so you guys can see my hands. And for once, I get credit for what I'm doing and you can see what I'm doing. And even then, when you're looking right at it, some people were still confused, especially since Charmin sometimes plays fiddle of her own. She has an actual wooden fiddle she plays. And that can be a little confusing too. That's why I tried to step out of the limelight and let her have that so there's no confusion as to when she's playing the fiddle. But with you guys having that bird's eye view, that side stage view of my right hand, you could see what I do, and something I've worked very hard to be good at, and I think I'm there. And I mean, can a real bad to the bone fiddler outplay me? Well, sure. Am I better than no fiddle at all? Oh man, let me tell you. Am I better than some fiddlers who can't play in tune? Sure. But it's just something to survive in the music business. And if you know my true crossroads story, I had to scrap. Sometimes I think I've made a living in life collecting the crumbs that fall from the rich man's table. And but that's okay. Those crumbs are more than I need. As long as I have what I need, that's all that matters. And then the rest of my music is just a gift to the people, to giving back what God gave me. But, I guess I lost my train of thought. I'm so tired this morning. But, yeah, I've had to struggle in the music business. And so being, trying to play as many instruments as I can, so I'm super versatile, and trying to emulate as many instruments as I can on the keyboard is all designed to try to make me irreplaceable. I want to be that guy that they think twice about letting go, because, I got issues. Sometimes I might get mad and say the wrong thing, and boy, I got some ethics that get in the way of things sometimes. I just won't play shady, and if you try, I'm going to stand up to you. And so that gets me bumped out of bands by people a lot, and so I have to have as much musical clout and much of a musical hook into a band, so it hurts them when they let go of me because I do so much for the group, and that's what I've always tried to be, is my weird way of making job security in a business where there is no security. Like, you can all be brothers one minute, and then somebody says the wrong thing, and you've been tired, you've been cranky, you've been on the bus or whatever, you drank too much last night. You shouldn't be having a band meeting at 3 o'clock in the morning. Whatever the circumstances are that lead up to it, you can lose a gig just like that. Just like one minute you got it, then the next minute it's gone. And so the most power you can generate as a musician, and the best you can extrapolate on your talent and stretch it as thin as you can, the better. And then maybe it's the other guy they let go instead of you. And but I hope you guys enjoyed an inside view of what it's like to be on stage, stand on my right hand. I know I did. I've never seen from that angle, and it was just kind of cool to watch me do my thing. And I wonder what it would look like when I'm having a really good night, because I was rusty. I was kind of tired coming into it from this long, because I just took this long trip to get out here. And my life has not been drama-free since I've been here, let me tell you. I don't want to go into details, but let's just say I'm definitely coming back to Texas. I think that's probably a done deal. No questions there. But now there might be a matter of when I'm coming back to Texas, because I think Charm wants me to play some more gigs, but I don't know how much she's got booked. If she gets a week off, I'm coming back, because I just can't afford to stay up here unless I'm getting paid. I need to go back where I can live on the cheap in Texas. But anyhow, yeah, so I hope you liked the live stream. We're going to do it again. Tell me what you think in the comment section. And I probably won't be doing much political and, coffee talk type videos or anything, over the weekend. Because when I gig, I'm kind of single-minded about it. It takes all my energy. As you can tell, I'm pretty wiped out. So, but I might surprise you, especially if any news pops up. But anyhow, thanks for watching last night. Thanks for being a viewer. Thanks for all the support and love I get from you guys. And God save our republic. We need his help.